Right, happy Tuesday, Year 5. Here is your fact of the day. It's 11 times 4 equals 44. So again, same things we do every day. We normally do this with me when we come into class. What other things do you know? If you know 11 times 4 is 44, what else do you know? I've put some examples, and you'll see over here, I've put some examples using measurement just to tie in our learning, because we're learning about measurement in maths. So what else do you know? Right, Year 5, so we're thinking about measures now. So I've just photocopied some sheets for you and got some things out that might help you. So capacity we've got here. We've got 1 litre and what it equals, 1,000 millilitres, and 1 centilitre, which equals 10 millilitres. And hopefully you'll remember that milli means 1,000 and cent means 100. So if you try to remember that. So things you might be able to do with capacity at home, you might have jugs, you might be able to do some measuring at home, you might have these little spoons, or things like measuring spoons for medicine. So have a look at those, the things that you've got. Then we've got length. And again, we've got the conversions of 1 kilometre, 1,000 metres, etc., etc. Things you might have at home, obviously ruler and a tape measure. So there's loads of things, hopefully, that you could measure at home and have a little practice with that, see which things are longer, which things are shorter. And then we've got weight, which is also, remember, the other word for mass. So here we've got the measurements. We've got up to 1 tonne here, which is 1,000 kilograms. And then we use kilograms and grams, probably not milligrams, but we used these when we made our rocky roads, and you might very well have scales at home. You might have scales like this that measure food and weights. You might have scales like that, or you might have things like bathroom scales to measure your weight. So hopefully these things you might have at home, have a look. And also in your packs for this section, I've given you a recipe to make some star biscuits. So you might be able to use these things to make your star biscuits. You'll certainly need to weigh them. There might be some liquid for some capacity, and then maybe you could measure your stars afterwards. Right, so let's have a think. So today's lesson is about converting measures. So thinking first about capacity, which we measure in litres. So remember, milli is 1,000, centi is 100. So there's 1,000 millilitres in a litre and 100 centilitres in a litre. So let's have a look at the answer. We've got 450 millilitres. How many centilitres do we think that's going to be? And what are the litres going to be? So we know that this was 1,000 and this is 100. So when we show our answers, we can see that there's 450 millilitres, 45 centilitres, and 0.45 litres, just under half of a litre. Oh, half, we could have maybe put that on our mind map. So here's another example. 3,700 millilitres is 370 centilitres. Now you might start noticing the pattern here with the zeros that might help you. So that equals 3.7 litres. Then we've got 6,930 millilitres. The centilitre is 693. And the litres is 6.93. So here we've got a couple of questions which is larger. 340 millilitres, or 3.4 litres. We should know that a litre is 1,000 millilitres, so that's going to be bigger, 3.4. And then we've got 560 centilitres, or 0.56 litres. And the answer here is 560 centilitres. Right, so now we're moving on to mass. Remember, that's another word for weight. So weight is often measured in kilograms, and I've got a kilogram here. It's quite heavy actually. So we've got 1 kilogram, and that equals 1,000 grams. So half a kilogram, half of 1,000. See if you can work that out. The answer is going to be 500 grams. 3/4 of a kilogram is going to be 750 grams, because 1/4 will be half of a half, so that would be 250. Which is greater, 1/3 of a kilogram or 1/4 of a kilogram? Well, 1/3 of a kilogram would be 333 grams, and 1/4, we've said, would be 250. So 1/3 is greater. Okay, so now we're thinking about length, and we should know, because we've used rulers, we should know that we've got 1 millimetre is the tiny little unit there. So we've got 10 millimetres in a centimetre, and we've got 100 centimetres in a metre, and then we've got 1,000 metres in a kilometre. So on your sheet is a similar thing to this, where you've got to draw the lines. So let me show you the answers, we can go through some. 40 centimetres is 0.4 metres, because remember there's 100 centimetres in a metre. We've got 4,000 millimetres in 4 metres. We've got 4 millimetres equals 0.4 centimetres. And again, if you look, you should be seeing the patterns for the numbers. 4 millimetres, thinking about the times and dividing by 10s and 100 that we did previously in maths. So 4 metres, well, we know there's 100 centimetres in 1 metre, so in 4 metres there'd be 400 centimetres. 40 kilometres, which is a long way, well, that would be 40,000 metres. And then the last one, which is 4,000 metres, and we know that there's 1,000 metres in a kilometre. How many thousands? Well, it's 4, so that would be 4 kilometres. So, hope that helps. I'll point out some other videos that might help as well, and then I'm going to show you the sheet, which will be in your pack this time. So in your pack will be the sheet. So this sheet is in your pack. So you should have it, it's in the measures section of your pack. So if you've got your packs, that's great, you can get the sheet out. If not, I'm going to take a photo of the sheet in a minute, so you can pause the video and you can write the answers down in your book. So here's your sheet, which, as I say, is in your pack. Just going to go through the first questions with you, just to show you what you need to do. Actually, the first one's done for you. So we've got 1,500 millilitres equals 150 centilitres and 1.5 litres. So we need to find for the second one, the millilitres and the litres conversion. So we've got 300 centilitres. So I know that there's 100 centilitres in a litre. So how many hundreds have I got? 3. So my answer here must be 3. So that must be 3 litres. I also know that there are 1,000 millilitres in a litre. So if there are 3 litres, there must be 3,000 millilitres. So I'm going to leave the rest. I want you to fill in the rest and I'll see them on the Zoom. So question 2 is drawing the lines like I showed you on the video. So the thing we need to remember, so for the first one, 6 metres. How many centimetres are in a metre? 100. So for 6 metres, I'm looking for 600. So for this one, I just draw a line to match them up. Question 3 is fill in the missing measures. So I've got 400 grams equals how many kilograms? Well, again, I remember that there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So my answer is 0.4. If you were writing that out in your place value, you'd have to move it over using your place value sheets like I showed you last week. And then you've got question 4, which is ordering from the lightest to the heaviest. So I look forward to seeing your answers on Zoom.